Hey folks, how's everybody doing today? Personally, everybody, I want to see our politicians, the Democrats and the Republicans, help out the American people with a fourth stimulus check that is desperately needed. Congress must stop playing the political games and send out more stimulus checks. If you guys agree, then be sure to stay until the end of this video.
Not worry about the rich and the powerful. So we are beginning to make some progress in dealing with issues that have been neglected for decades.
Here's the latest news surrounding the fourth stimulus check. Let's get right into it, everybody. So far in this year, only one wave of $1,400 stimulus checks has been sent out, following two previous rounds of payments last year, back in March and December of 2020. Meanwhile, 2 of 6 child tax credit payments have gone out since July 15th, with those being a different kind of stimulus check, putting a few extra $100 in parents' bank accounts. Still, for many people without a dependent and without any kids, a fourth stimulus check is definitely necessary, especially for our seniors.
Have massive income and wealth inequality. Half our people live on paycheck to paycheck. Got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. Got to do that. We have an infrastructure that is collapsing. We have got to address the existential threat of climate change.
Do you think that Congress is taking good care of our seniors, folks? Tell me in the comments below. I personally want to see our politicians send out more stimulus payments and help out American seniors, and help out the seniors that are in desperate need of financial assistance. If you guys agree, then be sure to like this video.
So in terms of pay for, yeah, I do think we need progressive taxation, which says to the very rich, Biden says the cap should be, the floor should be $400,000. Yeah. Nobody under that should pay more in taxes. But yes, the very rich and large corporations should start paying their fair share of taxes to help us rebuild America and create the jobs that we need.
In regards to more relief payments, USDA has just unveiled $700 million of relief funds, with $20 million for grocery workers. Now folks, the USDA, which the US Department of Agriculture, is now set to provide a total of $700 million in grants. This all done to help farm and meatpacking workers with crisis-related and safety costs. The USDA secretary told reporters on Tuesday that workers would be eligible to receive up to $600 each to help them cover costs that they incurred during the crisis. These include paying for masks and personal protective equipment, as well as paid medical family leave. Folks, so there are some stimulus checks going out to people, but still, as officials work together to project the long-term impact of the crisis, one political group is calling on Congress to issue stimulus checks for older Americans, our seniors. And this is the Senior Citizens League. And they are advocating for more stimulus checks to be sent out to our seniors.
Thank you for your patience. I know you're all thrilled to be sitting here at 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, but here we are together. Okay, so I have 2 items for all of you at the top. Today, the White House Competition Council, which includes 8 cabinet secretaries and the chairs of 7 independent agencies.
Government economic experts estimate recent increases in inflation means that the cost of living adjustment for 2022 will approach 6%. That's a whopping jump from the 1.3% COLA awarded for this year. According to the Senior Citizens League, older Americans are already under pressure from other rising, unavoidable costs like food, housing, and transportation. And the Senior Citizens League is mounting a campaign to urge Congress to pass a fourth round of stimulus checks that would send $1,400 payments to Social Security recipients only. Do you support this bill being approved, everybody? Do you support a $1,400 check to be sent out to our seniors alone? Tell me in the comments below. Inflation puts a strain on older folks in one way that doesn't necessarily affect others, and that is through Social Security benefits. The good news is that considering inflation is currently at 5.4%, but higher COLA for Social Security benefits could coincide with higher costs for Medicare, which threaten to eat up any extra cash.
Mr. President, the average Social Security benefit today is just $14,000 a year. And as someone who will be the next ranking member of the Budget Committee, I intend to do everything I can, not only to oppose vigorously any efforts to cut Social Security.
Simple word. The union means there is democracy. Democracy. Organizing, joining a union, that's democracy in action. And it's about dignity on the job, but it's also about creating good jobs. When I came to office, our first job was to stop the economic bleeding, and it was the worst bleeding since Roosevelt. We passed the American Rescue Plan. That delivered shots in arms and checks in pockets and provided that extra breathing room for working families. It helped state and cities keep essential workers on the job, including educators, police officers, firefighters, sanitation workers. And thanks to the part of the rescue plan named for Ohio labor leader Butch Lewis, over 1 million retirees and workers across the country, they can trust that the pensions they work for and sacrifice to secure will be there for them. With a bipartisan agreement we reached to rebuild America's infrastructure, we're going to be putting hundreds of thousands of people to work, including plumbers, pipe fitters, electrical workers, steel workers, so many other union workers, modernizing roads, bridges, water systems, broadband systems, capping abandoned oil and gas wells that are leaking, over 100,000 of them, making the same salary as digging that well. It creates jobs for American workers and makes our cities and towns more resilient and better able to meet the climate crisis. And to keep those jobs here at home, when your government spends the taxpayer's dollar, it's going to buying American goods, made in America by American workers. Look, over the years, the Buy America Act became a hollow promise. It's been there for a long time. I'm going to make it the next stop is dealing with the ability to pass the rest of my Build Back Better agenda. Once in a generation investments in our people, making housing more affordable, bringing down the cost of prescription by giving Medicare the power to negotiate for lower prices. You ought to thank Bernie Sanders for that. And child care more affordable while improving the pay for home care workers and child care workers. Providing paid family leave and medical leave so that no worker is forced to choose between their job and their caregiving responsibilities. You've all fought for all these things. We got to make them available everywhere. Provide 2 years of free university high-quality pre-K and high-quality pre-K 2 years that are needed. It shows that if you send a kid to school at age 3, 4, and 5, they increase by 56% the possibility of, no matter what the background, that they'll go through school.